There's never been a more exciting or empowering time to be a creator. That's because a technology called interactive 3D is changing the way we live and work.
When you're creating things on this platform, you're creating it for all the platforms.
Interactive 3D simulates the real world in a meaningful way. The result isn't a simple image or video. It's a three-dimensional world you can explore and change. In the past, it may have taken hours, if not days, for a final image to render. But with real-time 3D tools like Unreal Engine, the process is almost instantaneous.
In this project, we will explore how Unreal is being used in the advertising industry.
In the rest of this series, we'll explore step-by-step how Media Monks achieved this finished product. And you can follow along as we work through a similar shot together. No prior experience is necessary. We'll provide you with all the files you need. So, let's go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday Education stream. I am your host this week, Tom Shannon. Thank you. Thank you for all the huge applause that I'm imagining that's happening out there. Thank you, Steve. Thank you. With me this week in the co-host seat is Mr. Mark Flanagan below me.
Right. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Mark. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's very dark here, but it is nighttime, so it's to be expected.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us so late from...
Oh, it's a pleasure.
From dark, not sunny London.
Dark ages.
Not quite. Today we've got a couple of special guests with us. We have Mr. Steve Isaacs of Epic Games. Hello, Steve.
Hello, Tom. How are you?
Thanks for joining us on the stream today. And then we have Michelle Wu, who's joining us from Tallo. Hello, Michelle. Welcome to the stream.
Thanks, Tom. Excited to be here.
Nice. It's great to have you. So today we're talking about Unreal Futures, which is a new series of initiatives here at Epic that are, I'm not going to get into it and tell you what it is. I'm going to have Steve and Michelle tell you what they are. But they're, one of many initiatives that we have to help people understand and get their hands on Unreal Engine, because Unreal's getting used, as we maybe talk about every single stream at this point, for pretty much every type of business out there, from scientific research to architecture to obviously games and film, and increasingly in places like advertising. And so it's really important for us to help people get their hands on with these different verticals, because I think everyone kind of understands how games work. We're all, I think most of us are gamers probably on this stream. But these other verticals, these other businesses are really unique and new. And what's really cool is how they're using real time and Unreal to unlock kind of new potentials and stuff. So it's a really key thing for students and educators to understand at this point in time, because things are moving so quickly, and the industries have changed so much already and will change so much. So yeah, we're really keen on getting this sort of stuff out there. So without any further ado, let me introduce our guests here and find out why they're on the stream with us this week, and find out a little bit more about them as well. Why don't I start with you, Steve? You're our newest member to the education team here at Epic Games, and this is thank you. Hey. Yeah, welcome. Woo! So good to have you here, virtually here. I understand you just moved to North Carolina. Oh, you're muted. You're the winner of the muted competition this week.
The winner, that's good, right? Like I won it.
Yeah, you get an Unreal Engine shirt.
Yes.
Yep. Cool. I think you can also win the CAD competition. There's possibly a bit more. Somebody else could win it, but so far you're in the lead.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, so I just moved here actually last Wednesday. I'm happy that I believe my wife and daughter are actually watching us right now, which is great because they're still at home in New Jersey. They'll be joining me out here eventually. But yeah, so I wrapped up my 28-year teaching career about less than a month ago. Isn't that crazy? And moved on to take the position as education program manager at Epic. So a little bit about my teaching story is I started, like I say, like 28 or so years ago. I started teaching special education early. That was my start of my career. I taught 6 years at a science and technology magnet school, but I was teaching special education, which got me to really see a bit about how technology and games could personalize learning for the kids that I was serving. And that got me really keen on what was possible, in terms of technology and such. And while I was there, that was in Montclair, New Jersey, my wife, Kathy, and I partnered up with another couple and opened a computer training and technology center computer training technology center in a little town called Liberty Corner, New Jersey. And our goal there was like creative uses of technology and kind of doing summer camps and after school programs and all these things. And a few really pretty wonderful things happened there. One is that because we had this flexibility to, we wanted to reach our student audience, which were the kids, but we also wanted to appeal to parents. We found this great intersection between games and learning that drove a lot of our programming. And then we got into things like teaching game design and web design and such. And then even opened up our center on the weekends as a gaming center. And that showed another amazing possibility when you brought kids who were interested in playing games together into one space, which we've seen a lot more now. This was like 20 years ago. It was kind of, unique. And it was super exciting to see that scene come to life, which then led me to my teaching technology position, which was for the last 22 years, and ended up for the last 15 teaching exclusively game design and development at a middle and high school. So that's a little bit of my journey.
So you were teaching Unreal and game design in a high school?
Yeah, actually, so some Unreal, but like I've used a variety of tools, over the years. And Fortnite Creative, when that came about, that was sort of a little bit of a transition, where I was waiting for kids to come to me. I always let kids kind of choose what tools they want to use. And I was somewhat waiting. I figured, let me have them come to me. And I was waiting for the kids to come and say, hey, can we use Fortnite Creative for our project? And of course that happened. And that created an interesting thing because we, at first I wasn't 100% sure about, how the response would be to using Fortnite in the classroom. So I had my kids actually write to our principal and kind of advocate for themselves and tell all the great reasons why we should be using this and why it was no different from any other tool we might be using. And that started the ball rolling with Fortnite Creative. And I always kind of had the goal of moving from Fortnite Creative up to Unreal Engine, because Fortnite's a great way to get kids excited about what's possible. It's made with Unreal, and the goal then kept being to scaffold up. So when I started at the high school as well as the middle school, that became even more possible, because I think it's better fitted for high school students than middle school, but I have heard some great stories of middle school teachers using Unreal Engine as well.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear the kind of creative approaches that educators like yourself have had to take to get not just Fortnite, but even Unreal, any sort of game technology into the classroom. There's so many barriers to entry, from technology, like, will it run on this hardware that we've got, to can we even log in through the school's internet? Do they have epicgames.com blocked? And this is it's really fun to hear these interesting approaches, because it's very much every educator kind of has figured out their own way of bringing it into the system. So it's really cool to hear that you used Fortnite as that kind of intro. The cat has joined the stream. Yes,
the cat has been,
good.
The cat has, yes, that's another award.
Makes up for the mute thing.
And so now you're here at Epic Games, here virtually at Epic Games, right there, yes. the Epic Games official bedroom with the Epic Games official cat.
I mean, I am probably the closest right now to the headquarters.
I think you are, remarkably. It's in a strange turn of events. So what are you doing as an education program manager here at Epic now?
So a lot. We got a lot going on. It's been super exciting. So the Unreal Futures project, which we'll certainly I'll talk in greater detail about in a moment, that's been big because that launched pretty much right when I was coming in, or we were almost at launch. So we've been supporting that, and that's going to be an incredible opportunity for educators and students. But along with that, there's really my role, I think, is to create opportunities for educators and students to find ways to utilize interactive 3D technologies in their classrooms. And the neat thing is, over the last year or so, I had been working with the education team before I came on officially, and we've been creating a number of great lesson plans. And we did the Hour of Code in Fortnite Creative, which I appreciate the stream you did on that. I saw that a few weeks ago. But actually, you did the Unreal Engine one, right? The Hour of Code in Unreal Engine, which we also did a 5 lesson activity with that, which has been really great, as well as all these other lesson plans and initiatives. So, there's really a lot going on, and I'm welcoming, inviting educators to kind of, reach out and become part of this greater community. So I think, it's kind of neat. Like, we're a company that everything we offer is completely free. So it's kind of nice to come from that angle. Like, hey, have it all. Let me help you. Let's make something cool happen.
I'm sorry, I think I was muted there. It's a great position to be in as an educator, to be able to work with educators at Epic. It's really, really cool. Well, welcome to the team. Yeah, we've got a lot going on, and there's only more every day because, right. It seems like the ball is rolling down the hill pretty rapidly at this point, and
it's snowball.
It's a snowball, and I'm just in a weird way hanging on to a snowball.
Just gotta make sure you don't get into the snowball.
Don't get trapped in the snow. This metaphor is breaking apart like a snowball. Well, welcome to the team. Yeah, it's great to have you because we've got so much going on. It's been needed to have your help here. So thanks. Good to have you. Well, let's welcome Michelle now. And hi, Michelle. So, Michelle, you work at Tallo. What can you tell us, about yourself and Tallo and how you got connected to Steve and Epic and the involvement with the Unreal Futures project?
Sure. Well, thanks again for having me today. I'm really excited. I don't have, tech background, but excited to still play a part in this. So I actually, prior to working at Tallo, was in higher education. I got my bachelor's degree in political science and quickly realized I didn't want to go into politics and panicked. What am I going to do? I knew that I liked working with people and helping others. So I ended up going back to my alma mater and working in admissions, helping people enroll in school, and did student recruitment. I got burnt out from that pretty quickly because for all of you out there that might be planning on going to college, it's a hard job. They've got recruitment goals and numbers to meet. And so I, loved working with students, but didn't like that pressure. So I found out about Tallo, which I'll go into in a moment, but Tallo, just a high level overview, is an online app and a platform that connects students and young professionals with opportunities. So that's what drew me to Tallo, is instead of trying to get people to go to one specific college, I could work with students and young professionals to help them achieve their academic goals if they're wanting to go to college, but also their professional goals as well. So I work with over 70 college, company, and organizational accounts at Tallo. And what I do on a day-to-day basis is help connect our users with opportunities that these organizations are offering. And that's how I got involved with Epic Games. Is I get to this year promote the Earth Day competition. So that's just a little bit about myself. I'm going to walk you through how you can participate in the Earth Day Awareness competition through Tallo. We're really excited to host the registration form and application this year, and I'm very excited to see the submissions come in. I'm not a tech person, so I can't wait to see what all the creative things you guys come up with.
Well, awesome. Thanks for joining us on the stream. And thanks for helping host this competition. Competitions are an interesting thing because they really help drive people to do stuff that they normally wouldn't do. I think so often people want to try out a new piece of software, or try out a new skill or something. But that little bit of competition sparks something in people, and
it's a great incentive to get things finished.
That's a good way to put it. I do have a lot of started projects.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes there is little incentive to finish them. So this is really cool. So
it's a great way of doing that.
So what we've got our Unreal Futures, which we'll dig into here a little bit, and then we have this competition that we're working with Tallo that ties into this, correct? So what we're looking at is we're kind of expecting folks to take a look at the futures projects, learn about what's going on, and then develop their own sort of project to fit the requirements of the contest. Is that what we're hoping is the pathway through this, I'm guessing?
That is the direct pathway.
Well, then why don't we start with Unreal Futures? Let's take a look at Unreal Futures. Let's start with kind of the initial, like, what was the idea behind Unreal Futures when we were like, we need this series of projects and resources. What was kind of the thought process of that?
That's a great question. And you had mentioned earlier, Tom, about the different verticals and the different industries that a product like Unreal Engine is being used for, right? Like, so Unreal Engine is, known as an industry standard game design engine, but it's being used in incredible ways in industries like film, as well as architecture and engineering, aeronautics, aerospace, and all that. In fact, in terms of film, I bet some people in the chat have probably seen The Mandalorian, and one of the really neat things currently is that all of the scenery that you're seeing in The Mandalorian is produced in Unreal Engine. So that's, an incredible example of what's possible. So one of the thought was, so we wanted to definitely create, it's so important to think about pathways to careers in high school, and often we kind of miss some of the boat on that, I think, in terms of what we teach. So our goal is to create and provide opportunities for people to really get a real good look at what these different career pathways are, and how students and educators can use the product like Unreal Engine to both teach about this industry, but also to actually dig in and use the tool. So the Unreal Futures, the Careers in Advertising course, which you can find on learn.unrealengine.com. That's the learning portal. And the actual course is a series of great videos and some text and such that take you through this activity, as well as really what it does is it dives deep into the advertising industry. So you're going to hear from industry professionals. You're going to hear, about a an ad campaign to create an Oreo, a short Oreo commercial. And through this process, you as the student are actually going to recreate that commercial as well, which will then ultimately prepare you for the contest. So the course, like I say, has a number of videos that will be shown here somewhere if it loads up. But basically, so again, you'll hear from industry professionals, and you'll go through I think there are about 4 tutorials that walk you through step by step doing the activities to recreate that advertisement that we were talking about.
Yeah. And I've taken, obviously we're live here, so your videos won't play because that's how things work in live world. Oh, maybe here. And I've taken this course, I've gone through it, and the information and the authority of the people speaking in these videos is really important, because it really, these are folks who are making their living using this, and so the videos are both very instructional, but they also have a lot of kind of inspirational content in them that I was really struck by, because it's one thing to have the information and how to make Unreal do the things that you want, but what struck me here was the context of it, building this up like an actual project, giving you an insight into what it looks like to build a project like this at a high level. I was really, really taken aback by kind of the instructional design of it, to mix both this informational, the stories of the careers and the people who are working, and the students, along with the informational. And the videos aren't like 3 hours long. They're sub 10 minutes, yet they still manage to teach you quite a bit. And really, it's that context around why you're learning this that I think is so unique to this. And I don't know that I've seen something like this that really has such quality instructional content and has the personalities and the knowledge around that as well.
One of the things that I like, now that you're mentioning that, with regard to the way that they present the industry and things, and this is where it comes into kind of a little bit of a mix of why using a tool like Unreal Engine is so important, and talking about interactive 3D in real time, is that they show or talk about how creating this 10-second ad with different packaging that they would use normally could take, hours upon hours, days upon days, so much filming and so much editing. And when you do something like this in a tool like Unreal Engine, and all you have to do is substitute one package for another, and you've got the other ad. Like, that's one of the things that struck me, because they're talking about, in advertising, a lot of the companies, they have a number of different audiences that they're trying to reach. So they might use this packaging for this, cultural area, or this package for another, and such subtleties. But when they were able to just take out an asset and just plop it in there in place of the other, and then I think that's when you start to see the magic of the tool. And like you were saying, the mix of I like how they're talking about the industry. Like, I found that really fascinating. But then when they walk you through, when the host walks us through the instructional part, you realize that in order to create this ad, you're dealing with small pieces in terms of Unreal Engine, which could otherwise be pretty daunting. So you're dealing with, animating the camera with the sequencer. I think you're going to show us some of that cool stuff too, right?
Yeah.
And that I thought was really great, because I think one of the things we're trying to really address in the education team is that, we want to create that entry point for people into Unreal Engine where it's not, like overly intimidating. And And a project like this really, I think, helps do that, because you can get right into the program and create something really cool. And as Michelle will talk about the contest, I think you'll take what you learned from this course, which you get a badge for and all that. You'll take what you learned from that and then be able to apply it, right away to creating this, advertisement.
Yeah, that's so in the course. So the course, it's got some video, it's got instructional content. It's hosted up on our learning platform, learn.unrealengine.com. So you can find it there if you search, and of course, if you Google search, you can find it as well. Steve showed you the blog post that's got a little more information. And then, so yeah, if you're in there, and so our learning website, I'll just take an aside here, is actually really cool. And anyone who's trying to get to grips with Unreal should really get to grips with our learning website, because we have spent a lot of time and a lot of effort making the content on there as authoritative and relevant as possible. And this is very demonstrative of that, and sort of the structure of it is very much how the other courses are set up. So we have these modules with videos, and then I think you might have seen Steve took a test in front of everyone. He knew the answer, I think he might. All right. Oh, he's gonna get that badge. And then, so what you do, you watch your videos, and then there's a light assessment. And then when you've gone through it, you get a badge, which is attached to your learner profile, which is typically your Epic ID. And those badges can be shared in social media or put up in your portfolio or whatever. And these badges have actually started to carry some clout. People want to see them, and even educators, something I've heard a lot from educators is that they can use the badges to help teach their classes. By assigning a badge to their students, they know that their students can get to a certain level of knowledge, and that what they've learned is quality learning content. And so this is very much, this content is for anyone who wants to learn this stuff. But we've also, that anyone who wants to learn, student, teacher, someone who's in the advertising industry that wants to get skilled up on it. But we've also, I think we've taken kind of we've gone a little further, and we've created some resources that help teach this stuff as well. Isn't that correct? Have we made any resources that are specifically for educators tied to this content? Oh, he's muted again. Oh, he gets the double mute badge.
It was the cat that did it. Cat muted you.
I didn't try to talk. I just had these screens, things. I was watching the Twitch stream. We do have resources for educators. There's both the video courses as well as the PDFs that you could also access and help guide through that. And a lot of our, the content that we've been providing, it's the neat thing about this course in particular is fairly easy to be self-guided, but I know myself as an educator, it was important to go through the course first and then guide my students. But yeah, it's designed, I think, pretty nicely for it to be a lighter touch for educators, but yes, there are resources for educators as well.
Well, I think that's really key because Unreal's really big and really scary, and having a light touch project is can sometimes be just the ticket, because I think a lot of times people aren't looking to replace their entire curriculum or replace an entire program. They just want to introduce it into a program, and having just a solid lesson plan that's off the shelf and all the content that's ready is so essential. And we do this stream and we get out there and we kind of, try and shout it as loud as we can, because if you don't know that it's there, you won't use it. And I don't know that people expect it to be there. I think we have a kind of a unique perspective on education and this content and how we serve that. So, it's really important for us to let people know that this is here for anyone who wants to learn. But if you're teaching with it, we've added the resources so that you can bring it into the classroom effectively. Because I think there's a conception that sometimes if you put up a YouTube video or, a online learning course, you could just totally just take that and use it in a classroom. But that's those of us who have taught or built curriculum know that looks good on paper. But really it's much harder than that. So, I think this approach that we've been doing with these lesson plans is a really good one to help, especially subjects like this that are not like a core thing. And I went through this project and it's very, very, very doable. Why don't, I actually downloaded the project. So along with it, you actually get the project stuff. Let me share my
Do you
project.
get cookies?
I will show you. You get virtual cookies. So I'm in the middle of working on my project here. I'm following through the tutorial. Hopefully everyone can see my screen here. I had some hardware acceleration issues earlier in the day. And so this is the project you get. And what's great is you get a setup project. The only thing that's missing is actually doing the camera cut. So everything's been imported, lighting is set up, things are ready to go. So as someone who's trying to introduce Unreal to a classroom or trying to learn it yourself, not having to learn importing objects, texture resolutions, and the material system, those are all, key things that you will need to learn to master Unreal, but they're not things that you need to learn to have this sort of successful project. And so, and I'm sorry for anyone who's looking at my interface here and is like, that is a weird interface, but I move my panels around a lot while I'm working. So, what you get here is you get this beautiful scene that's been set up and lit.
Tom?
Yes.
Tom, I don't know that we're seeing your screen.
Are we not?
Or it might just be me.
Oh,
it's in Twitch.
So in the Zoom, you won't see my screen.
Yes.
Now close. Sorry.
It's.
I thought the same thing for a second. I was like,
If you don't do this streaming a Zoom call every week, it can be a little weird. So everyone on stream hopefully can see it. They're saying they can see it. Excellent. But thank you for the heads up, because I could have gone on and on without showing it. So I'm actually going to close sequencer here and kind of make this look maybe a little more like people are used to seeing. Let's just make that bigger. So what we're giving you is this nice scene, and you can see this is not like a typical game setup. In a game setup, you populate everything because the player can do this. They can turn around. And so this is like instantly, this is different than what I'm used to. I'm used to games. I'm even used to architectural visualization where the player can move around and we're showing everything. And this is something that's very specific to advertising and film and TV, is that you only need to build what's in your shot. And, like we were talking about with advertising, their deadlines are so tight and their demands are so high that they're absolutely not going to build the walls that aren't there. And so it's a very, purposely built set, much more so than kind of a level. And so you get all the assets that are in there, and you get this product. And this product here is actually a blueprint, and it lets you switch to different products, which I'm not quite sure where I put them here. And so the scene is already set up. And then Sonali Singh, who's a wonderful instructor, and just a couple of videos, like it's really just a few minutes of instruction, really walks you through what you need to learn to go and create your sequence. And so I'm actually in the middle of following along. And this is where I'm at right now. I've created my sequencer, my level sequence. I've added a camera, and I've added our cookies in here. And then if I select my scene, oh, of course, I did this. So I've actually got my cinematic viewport here as well, so I can have both my cinematic viewport and a scene representation so I can see what's going on. So I'll just back up and we'll see if this plays over here. Here we go. Ta-da! Beautiful shot. And so I still have some work to do. I need to work on my depth of field and my framing and get the beginning and end blurs in. But I've really had a lot of fun kind of crafting this very simple camera movement and playing with like depth of field and all the camera settings that I kind of, as a tech artist, I don't get to play with all that much. And I don't get to be all that creative. In gameplay, you kind of put a 90-degree camera behind the player, and there you go. So I've really been having fun playing with different fields of view and different kind of camera moves. I don't think that I'm very good at this. What I've discovered is that it's one of those things that I think maybe looks easy on paper, but then you try it and you realize that there is a professional level where it does just look easy and the shot just looks right and doesn't feel awkward, and it's not staring at a couch cushion for most of it like mine is. So I really enjoy, and I really enjoy getting into projects like this where everything's already done and I just get to focus on playing with one thing, and I don't have to deal with troubleshooting everything else around it, because then I get to the end. Like, there's an end in sight for what I'm doing, and I will do that, and I'll hit the render, and then I've done my project. And there's not like this. There's often, if there's no end in sight, like Mark said, it can be hard to finish. So yeah, I mean, it's a very, very concise sort of lesson. And since everything's provided, you should have a really good chance of succeeding with it. And I think really getting an idea of where to go once you go there to get into the competition. Because obviously in the competition, we're probably not asking you to recreate that exact shot, are we, Michelle? Just a guess. Caught you off guard, didn't I?
You did. I was not expecting that, but it's a chance for you to be creative for sure.
So Michelle, why don't you tell us a little bit more about the competition? What is this competition that Tallo and Epic have set up around the Unreal Futures?
So this is, and I'm sorry for me looking from screen to screen. Don't want to mess up the Zoom, but this is for an Earth Day. Create an Earth Day awareness ad. And yes, there are prizes. So not only are you going to get to have fun, creating your own ad from all of the different tools that that you're learning from Unreal engines, but there's a chance to win prizes. So essentially, prizes, yes. I don't know. Does look like the age limit is 25. So maybe
we're good.
What are you trying to say?
I'm good. Steve's 25 years old and has 28 years of experience teaching. He's perfect for an entry-level position.
It is. So Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can either participate by doing things individually, but you can also work in teams. But what you do is you complete that Unreal Futures Careers in Advertising module to learn how to create an advertisement ad, and then you put those things into practice by creating your own virtual ad utilizing Unreal Engine. It's just a 30 to 45 second ad. And the purpose of the ad is for you to make an ad that is spreading awareness of the environment. And you can win up to $2,500. So Steve, I don't know if you have any other details that you want to share, but you're essentially, it's a professional interactive 3D advertisement. So not only are you getting to show off your tech skills, but also raise awareness about the environment as well.
And did you say cash?
Cash, yes. There's the first, second, and third place prizes for, there's 2 groups. So we've got a 13 to 18 age group.
Oh, nice.
Your age group is based on the age of your oldest team member. So we've got 13 to 18, and then 19 to 25. Each group has a prize for individuals and teams. First place is $2,500. Second place is $1,250, and third place is $500. And again, there are prizes for both individuals and teams.
Oh, that is very generous and super awesome. I mean, I know when I was between those age ranges, any of those prizes would have been amazing. So that's super cool. So where, how does someone who wants to get into this competition get in? Where do they register? Is it through our site, or is there another place they need to go here?
So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and if one of you guys could drop into the chat, it's tallo.com/Unreal Engine competition, and this is where you get started. This is where you can learn all the details about how to get entered, what the competition is about, all of those different prizes that I mentioned. So this is going to first give you information about the competition itself. Now, to get registered for the competition and to submit your entry, the ad that you create, you're going to do all of that on Tallo, which is where I work, and that's why I'm here today. So from this landing page, if you don't already have a Tallo profile, when you click register now, it's going to take you to a page with a little bit more information just to make sure that you have all of the different official rules and guidelines for the competition. So make sure you review all of those. And then you can, through April 12th, join Tallo and submit your entry. So whenever you click register now, it's going to take you to register for Tallo. And since you are going to be joining Tallo, do you want to just give you a little bit of information about what Tallo is?
Absolutely. I think if we are asking folks to go there and become part of Tallo, then I think it'd be appropriate to let them know why.
Well, first, let me show you a little intro video that's more exciting than me.
No.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
I want to be a biomedical engineer.
I want to be a lead engineer in the aerospace defense industry.
And that's why I use Tallo.
On Tallo, I can find internships,
scholarships, the college of my dreams,
the company I've always wanted to work for.
On Tallo, I found confidence,
direction, and opportunity. On Tallo, I found a path to my dreams.
So that's just an overview of Tallo. And Tallo, again, I mentioned this earlier, but it's a free platform where individuals starting age 13 can come and create a professional portfolio. It's essentially a digital resume where you can put all of your accomplishments, your experience, like your participation in Epic Games or any projects that you're proud of. And then you can also list all of the things that you want to do in the future. which I know is a big thing, and that can change. And we want to help you get connected with different opportunities so you can learn about all of the things that are out there, like this Earth Day competition.
Wow, this, I'm
do,
sorry to interrupt, but
no.
When I was trying to go to college, this was what I needed. I just remember having stacks of, printouts from scholarships and, all the brochures and it was so hard for me to connect all the dots and see what was going on. And, it was really overwhelming for me. And I'm lucky that my mom went to college, so she could help guide me. I can only imagine if there isn't someone in your family to help you guide you through this, how overwhelming that must be. So something to kind of coalesce all of this with scholarships and have schools, it feels like this is kind of the thing that would have really helped me. Maybe I would have got a few more scholarships and spent a fewer years paying back student loans had I been able to, find the right ones. And it was always just kind of, all I could do was go down to like the counselor's office or, career services and see if they had any scholarships on the board or something that I could sign up for. So this seems like maybe a slightly better way forward, maybe more modern than the corkboard.
Absolutely. And we give away a monthly scholarship, and what's really cool about our scholarships, we give away at least $1,000 a month, sometimes more. If you follow us on Instagram, then we announce those. But you don't just have to be a senior in high school. You can start applying even if an 8th grader or a high school freshman, and we'll hold on to your scholarship until whenever you go to college. So it's a great thing to do, even if you're a bit younger, to go ahead and get started with that. But it's also a way for those of you that might be looking to make connections with either a college or maybe a company, an internship, a part-time job, is a way to get discovered. So if you see here, this is an example of what our what we call talent seeker account looks like, where colleges and companies can actually search for you based on your skills, like maybe your involvement with EPIC, and look for individuals that are going to be a good fit for their opportunity. So in order to register and submit your work for the Earth Day Awareness Competition, you'll create a Tallo profile. And again, it's free, and just wanted to show you this because whenever you, from this page, whenever you click to register and whenever you get started, you'll build out your profile. That's the first step. Now, you don't have to build it out as entirely as this is built out, but just wanted to show you all of the different things you can put on there. So you can put those future goals and plans, and keep in mind when you're doing this that we know they can change. This is a living document, so no pressure. Like I said, my degree was in political science and not doing anything with that. So that's okay if you don't know exactly where you want to be. But you can put all of the different cool things about yourself, any memberships, hobbies, any workforce experience that you have, your accomplishments. You can put your school, your GPA, list your test scores, any courses that you're proud of. So maybe you want to put the Unreal Engine's advertising course on there. It doesn't have to necessarily be, specific to school. If you're fluent in more than one language, and then you can also upload projects. So I'm going to show you the application for whenever you're uploading your submission for the Earth Day Awareness Challenge, but you could also put this here, not only for Epic Games to see, but any of our colleges or companies that are utilizing Tallo as well. So once you are in Tallo, you've got your Tallo profile, how are you going to register for this awesome competition? So you see up here at the top of the page, we have opportunities. So if you click on that, this is where you're going to find two things. First, you're going to find a registration form and then an application. And the easiest thing to do whenever you get to opportunities is to come to organization name and just type Epic. Epic Games is going to pop up. And when you hit search, you'll see two forms here. So we've got it laid out. Step 1, registration. step 2 application.
Mm-hmm.
Going to go ahead and click on step 1 registration. This is going to give you, again, those details, just reminding you about the event. And this is what you're going to submit before you do the Unreal Futures Careers in Advertising Learning Pathway. So you'll fill out this, then you'll come up here, you'll do that pathway, and that's when you then get to go and create your own Earth Day ad. After you've created your Earth Day ad, you'll come back to opportunities. Let's find Epic again. And upload your submission to this application. And it'll give you reminders of everything that you need to submit. So you'll be able to upload your documents, your proof of completing the course, the digital badge that they were mentioning. You'll upload that so that we have documents saying, yes, you did complete that course. So you can't just make the ad, you got to complete that course too. So make sure you do that. But this is where you'll submit it to Tallo. Now, if you guys, as you're filling this out, I know since there's 2 applications, if you get confused, we've provided our email address, support@tallo.com. For if you have any questions whenever you're filling out these applications, we monitor that email and we'll get back to you really quickly. So if you have any questions as you're filling this out, just let us know.
One of the things I really like about the partnership is the fact that, Tallo is all about, career readiness, and that's what we're trying to really promote with this activity and with all the things that we're doing, with the education program. So, it really makes a lot of sense. And also, if I could mention real quick too, we also partnered with Innovate and Educate, or Innovate+Educate, and the Close It Summit, and NASEF, the North American Scholastic Esports Federation. So a lot of really neat opportunities, both for, those interested in, it's a different twist on esports in a sense, because it's, definitely a competition, but it's in more showing your skills and things like that. So it's really, really great that, who we have involved.
We have a question here from the stream asking, is Tallo only for US students?
It is not. So you can be an international student to join Tallo. Now, keep in mind, we have a mobile app, which is essentially a messenger app. That can currently only be downloaded in the US. But if you just go to our website, if you're an international student, you can absolutely join.
That's fantastic.
I believe that eligibility for the contest is limited to North America.
Okay. And if you have whoever sent in that question, if you email us at support@tallo.com, we'll make sure that we can get you any details and talk to you about other ways that you can use Tallo too.
Yeah, awesome. Steve, you said something about how this very much aligns with our perspective on education. I totally agree that we are very much focused on career readiness, and from where I sit, I get to talk to industry and educators and students and people within EPIC, and there is absolutely a huge opportunity for students, because the jobs are there, and the jobs are there now, and they'll be there in the next few years too, and so we're very much focused on providing getting people those actionable skills that you can get a job with right now, and even if you're in middle school and high school, this is only going to increase in its importance moving forward, and getting your hands on it now is going to be really key. And I'm seeing work and stuff coming out of high schools and middle schools that I would have been impressed from community colleges and early college stuff just a few years ago. It's amazing how fast people are taking these tools and mastering them, and like you said, I think for me, once I got into game development, my favorite game to play was game development. It's like, what should I do? Should I play a game or make a game? Well, I'm going to go make a game. And that became my favorite game to play for many, many, many years. So yeah, it's very much, we are very much aligned in that. There's opportunities that students need to know about so that they can be connected, and industry is ready for them.
One of the things everybody should realize is that this technology is extremely powerful, but also extremely free. And we want people to understand that it's free because we want people to learn how to use it. We want as many people as possible to be empowered by it. And our learning materials, again, are free. And it's something which we're committed to doing, to growing the amount of people who can use these tools and thrive with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they're not easy tools to master. And if you're paying attention to our Thursday streams, you probably know they're not getting any more simpler. More simple. Not sure
more simpler.
Grammaticize that.
The other thing which some people don't realize, just to put the free thing in context, is the tools are actually free to an awful lot of people in industry. The people in advertising using the tools, it's free.
Did you say free?
I said free. So yes. Have I frozen there? Yep, I thought I'd frozen.
Just
so yeah,
slightly.
It's free for people working in advertising. It's free for people working in architecture, all these other careers. So it's a really great choice for people to learn this because it's cutting edge and it's more than affordable.
I mean, certainly the most expensive part of Unreal Engine is the time. And so projects like this are just so great to see because Unreal can be scary. And I did this project and it was not scary. It was fun. And the entire course and everything, it was very engaging, which can be tough when you're looking at a giant piece of software. I want to address the freeness because we get that question a lot. Is how is it free? And it is free. It's free for anyone to start with. But we do have options for architects and people who are working in industry if they need additional support or they want to build relationships with Epic. That's when we can start to build a custom license for them. But it's very much when they are ready and they need more, then that's when we feel it's right to kind of ask for that license. But yeah, it's very, very important for us that it is free and free for learners because
there was game development free up to your first $1 million.
Yeah, if you have to pay us, you're in a good spot.
Yep.
that's pretty much whatever field you're in. That's where we want to be. Is we want you to be really, really successful before you feel the need to approach us for licensing. Yep. This is the sort of stuff that helps people have that success. And Tallo is, it's very much along that same sort of success forward mentality, and really finding the right way to do the right thing for as many people as possible. So I'm really happy to see us partnering with Tallo. And this competition looks really, really fun. So what are we asking them to submit? Are they, you said a 30 to 45 second long video?
Yeah, so the whole idea here, and I'm glad you brought that up, is, this is a call to action, right? It's a call to action to create it, but it's a call to action for the environment. So we're asking people to kind of look at the environment and consider something important to them and create a 30 to 45 second video to share that as public awareness. So that is what the end deliverable is. There are a few things they have to do in terms of including screenshots and things like that. But the real competition is that 30 to 45 second video. And I think people will really start to realize how amazing it is when you get to work with these tools in terms of real time and are playing around with the lighting and notice that things change, on the spot, and work with the, so I think what they'll take out of the Unreal Futures course will set them up pretty perfectly to create the Earth Day ad.
And so they create an Earth Day ad and they render it out. And the course teaches you how to render out the video even, so that
that's right.
The course gets you all the way to that point. So you'll learn everything you need to get to that point. Do you have any advice for people who are entering the competition? Is there anything that you think will help, either, from a conceptual perspective or a technical perspective? What do you guys think that students, or I shouldn't say students, because anyone can enter, right? You just have to be in those age ranges. You don't have to be affiliated with a school or anything, correct?
No, correct. We do very much hope we hope anybody will participate. We would love to see teachers see this as an opportunity to work with their students and support that process. So when I think of the way, I was in the classroom, a lot of these kind of things were like, hey, if I had the resource and was able to bring this course to my students and guide them through the process, that was the best thing that I could do. The same could apply to any kind of coach or parent. But one of the things in terms of your question about advice and suggestions is, like with any project that you're creating that's creative, coming up with a storyboard idea is definitely a great way to plan for it. You don't just jump right in there and throw pictures in Unreal and start moving the camera, but that pre-planning is very important, and that's one of the big things.
Michelle, do you have any advice for entrants?
Just to be creative. I'm sure that for me, the hardest part would be coming up with the idea. And this is, don't feel like you're boxed in. Whenever you think about the environment, you could, focus on, the importance of recycling or climate change or, maybe the history of Earth Day. Just don't let that initial thing of coming up with an idea prevent you from doing it. Go ahead and take the Unreal Engines course and, let the idea come maybe as you're creating the ad. But again, you can work in teams. So if there are certain things that you might not be good at, but you know a friend or a family member that might be good at coming up with an idea, and you doing the more technical side, you can work together. But if you rather do it all on your own, that's okay too. But just have fun with it, no pressure, and maybe you'll win some money.
Nice. I think I'd like to add some advice that's, my evangelist advice, which is we have our marketplace. So if you're looking for content, there is a ton of free content that's up there. So if you need, trees, skies, backgrounds, characters, we have
a whole park.
We have a whole park. We've got a gymnasium up there. There's, great sets. So explore the marketplace. Look for kind of, it's kind of like scouting. You want to know where you're going to put this. I believe there's a supermarket up there. There's naturalistic environments and tons of foliage, and then
all of Quixel.
Absolutely. So, if you're not technical or you're not artistically minded, please lean on those resources.
Yeah.
If your focus is on telling a story and moving a camera around, or whatever it is, particle systems, you want to learn particles, lean on the marketplace to fill in those areas that you might not have. There's music up there, all of that. And a lot of it's either really inexpensive, which I know most people in this age range don't have a ton of extra cash, but there's a ton of free stuff up there too, both from Epic and our partners. And like Mark said, the Quixel library is just absolutely full of stuff. And then, after you take this course, you're not going to be an Unreal Engine master, and you're going to have tons of ideas of cool stuff to do. Go back to that learn.Unreal Engine site and search for those things. Now that you've got your feet wet, there is a path or a course called Your First Hour in Unreal Engine. There's several of these Your First introductions. So you can even just see if, I'll take, the intro to visual effects. See if maybe this is something I'm interested in and can do this. It's a great opportunity, I think, for you to take something in Unreal and dig into it and make something out of it. Because when you're working with kind of linear content like this, it's great because you don't have to deal with all the blueprints and programming and game modes, and things have to happen every 30th of a second. And there's a lot of extra constraints when you're talking actually running at real time, that when we were rendering out video, you just don't have to deal with as much. So yeah, I'm sure that it can be very intimidating, but lean on the resources that we're providing, and I think you can come up with something really amazing. I'm really looking forward to seeing the results of this. When is the what are the dates of the competition one more time?
So you have to submit your work by April 12th. I believe that you would, I don't know that there is necessarily a day that you have to get started by. Correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, but of course, I don't know that you'd want to, get started 24 hours. So it's the earlier the better to get started. But the work has to be submitted on or before April 12th.
But the competition is open now, so people can register right away. The learning content is up on our site, so you can take the course. Everything's ready to go right now.
And the goal, the April 12th deadline is conveniently about 10 days before Earth Day. And the idea being that we're going to announce the winners and hopefully show some of these great videos on Earth Day.
Fantastic. I'm really excited to see what everyone comes up with. The kind of creativity that comes out of the community when we do these sorts of things is really inspirational.
Yeah, I think Corey in the chat is going to get started right after the stream ends.
And again, I really advise people, if you can work in teams, that's better still. It really is. It's one of the great skills you can learn in your life, is to actually work with a team, and you'll have better ideas. One brain can spark a certain amount. If you've got 2 or 3 people talking to each other, your ideas will start to flow.
Yeah, I think teamwork is one of the most challenging parts of creative development, but is also probably the most rewarding part of it. What you can do as a team is pretty remarkable compared to what you can do on your own. It's pretty remarkable what people can do on their own. Looking at Stardew Valley guy over here. But as a team, your chances of doing something epic, I think, are increased significantly. So yeah, I think that's it's like I snuck that in.
I saw what you did there.
Yeah, I'll do it again too. I'm pretty bad like that. So this is awesome. I'm really excited to see this. I want to know though, so what's next for Unreal Future? So we've looked at advertising. This is the first thing that we're doing, right? We're looking at advertising as our first vertical, as we call them. So where else are we taking futures in the future?
Futures in the future. So we have great plans. I mean, this is really just the first of many, because we want to, like we said, give people opportunities to learn about, what's happening in industry and these career pathways. We're not sure exactly what order these will come in, but we're definitely looking at doing one on fashion, one on, entertainment. Aerospace is, in the mix, and, so people get to see kind of like behind the scenes of something like Boeing or what have you. So we have big plans, and the goal will be to continue to roll these out, as we can develop them.
Awesome. That's super cool. And same thing, we're working with industry, and this is I really like this. It's something that I repeat a lot, and I have to. We're at a point where it's for schools and educators and students. There's a kind of an odd thing happening right now where industry has moved really quickly, and has adopted these technologies, all these industries that you talked about and more. But the schools themselves are still successfully placing students in jobs. And so the schools themselves are sometimes struggling to incorporate these concepts in, because, incorporating something like Unreal into any program is just ridiculously hard. So I'm really happy to see us working with industry, and when you take this course, you'll see, folks from industry talking about it, because that's really, really essential for educators and administrators to really see. It's not just Epic Games that's up there. Of course, we're going to be like, we're the next big thing. Everyone should learn our stuff, right? But it's really important, because we're out here saying that because we go and talk to, the architects and the Boeings, and they're like, please. And what I'm hearing from them really is, we want the programs that we've always worked with to start teaching this. We want the reliable, engineers want engineers who know Unreal. Architects want architects that know Unreal. And so, showing educators in advertising that this is a thing, and here's an entry point, and here are some people who are actually using this, because it's moved so quickly that I don't know that there are a lot of educators in the field that have had the professional experience of this, because it's happened only in the last couple of years. So it's really key for us to just keep putting this out there and showing these possibilities. And I personally come from a non-game background. I started in games, and I took some CAD classes in high school, and an engineering company found my portfolio and was like, this guy has CAD and video games. And they mashed them together, and I became the real-time guy, putting bridges and skyscrapers and whole cities into game engines. And that's that kind of opportunity that's out there for folks, but they need to know it, and both industry and educators and early learners like this need to know. So good on you, Steve. Great job on this, on the futures. The projects are fantastic. Everyone should download those, check out the course. If you're looking to get into Sequencer or looking to get into Unreal and have some fun, or you're a teacher and you're like, I want my students to be able to use Unreal and not have to deal with blueprints and it's so hard. This is much more, I think, accessible for a lot of people. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. So do you guys have anything final? Are there any final questions from the chat before we wrap up today?
I'm looking, can't see any. A lot of positivity, I think.
That's good. We have such a wonderful community.
So, and it's Joe who's in the chat is watching this with a bunch of his students. So hopefully they're ready to get moving. That's what we want to see. I love what you said too, Tom. The idea that in these Unreal Futures courses, the industry people are front and center. So we are hearing, from real professionals, which I think is so important for kids to see. So I think that is a very important part of this whole thing.
Yeah, I had a teacher tell me once that it's really important for Epic to come to his classroom and say exactly the same things that he has said. Because for whatever reason, when he says them, the class doesn't seem to hear them. But if I say it, they're jotting down notes intently.
That's exactly right.
So it's all perspective. Well, this has been fantastic. And I want to thank Michelle. Thank you for joining us. And I want to thank Tallo for being our partner in this. Steve, thank you for joining us once again, and welcome to the team. It's so great to have you. Woohoo! Mark, again, as always, thank you for being with us and wrangling our chatters and helping out. It's been wonderful. And Tom, thank you for hosting. Oh, wait, I'm supposed to stop once I get to Matt.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you,
Tom.
Well, thank you very much again. And thank you to our audience who's tuned in this week. We will see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.